Hey guys, today we're checking out some more Star Trek The Next Generation Season 3.
Commander, away team reporting in. Lieutenant Worf standing by.
Alright, we got
This is
away
Riker.
team.
Go ahead, Lieutenant.
The archaeologists have identified the markings in these caverns. This planet was apparently once home to a race known as the Koinonians.
Koinonians?
Beam them up, quickly!
Oh no!
Emergency beam up. Enterprise, emergency. Severe
Do it!
injury.
Transporter room.
Severe injuries?
Beam them straight to sickbay. Dr. Crusher, incoming wounded.
Away team is on board, Captain.
Now that's a wound. That's what we should have seen on Yar back in the day.
These are the voyages of the Starship Enterprise. To seek out new life and new civilizations.
To boldly go where no one has gone before.
Lieutenant Mala Asta, ship's archaeologist, has been killed in what should have been a routine
Wow.
mission. Whatever the explanation, it will not bring back a valued and trusted officer.
Brutal, he's injured too. What happened down there?
Lieutenant Astor is survived by a son, Jeremy, 12 years old. He's aboard the Enterprise, sir.
And his father?
He's also deceased. His only
Poor
living
kid.
relatives are an aunt and uncle residing on Earth.
To Earth we go.
I've alerted the teacher to expect us.
I must accompany you. I commanded the away team.
I appreciate your offer, Lieutenant. This is my responsibility.
I bet Worf feels responsible and like guilty for not helping her.
I want to know why this happened.
Yes, Captain.
I will be with Counselor
careful.
Troy and young Jeremy Astor.
I understand. Riker out.
He lost his father too. Whoa, where is he? Is this like a Klingon ceremony? Look at that knife.
I sense the weight of this duty on you, Captain.
I've always believed that carrying children on a starship is a very questionable policy.
He's not really into kids and questions the whole policy.
Leaving him on Earth would not have protected him.
It was my command which sent his mother to her death. She understood her mission and my duty. Will he?
In time, and with help.
It's just a child.
Wesley Crusher does.
Good point.
Jeremy, I have some bad news. There's been an accident. Your mother has died.
I know your mother loved you very much.
He's so little.
I'm all alone now, sir.
Oh.
Jeremy, on the Starship Enterprise, no one is alone.
Aww.
No one.
Maybe that bonding is between Picard and this kid.
Excuse me, sir.
What juice is that?
Am I intruding? How well did you know Lieutenant Astor?
We spent some time together.
Like, rare.
I have been asked several times to define how well I knew Lieutenant Astor.
Oh, I see.
And I heard you ask Wesley on the bridge how well he knew Jeremy. Does the question of familiarity have some bearing on death?
He's trying to understand this. It's so funny how much we take for granted.
Remember how we all felt when Tasha died?
I do not sense the same feelings of absence that I associate with Lieutenant Yar.
'Cause you didn't know her well.
But should not the feelings run just as deep, regardless of who has died?
Maybe they should, Data.
Yeah, maybe so.
We brought back a souvenir.
An
There are
explosive?
5 more just like it.
Is it?
All identical to the one that killed Lieutenant Astor.
Oh,
They
frick.
employ a subspace proximity detonator.
How long would you say they've been there, Data?
And who put them there?
Well, it seemed like they were left there to be found.
Left by whom? There are no indications of life on this planet.
It's pretty obvious that they'd been recently pulled out of the ground and diffused.
Huh? Well, they are as puzzled as I am.
I'm more interested in how you feel about what happened.
Yeah, I think he's having some trouble with it.
Her death was senseless. The last victim of a forgotten war.
Yeah, that is senseless.
There's nothing more to be said.
A person died under your command.
It's a cool shot.
It may happen again if you can't learn to release the anger and the guilt.
May I seek your counsel on my plan to make Rustar with the boy?
The bonding.
The bonding.
It's very generous, Worf, but he's not a Klingon child. He
Like
has
to
different
adopt him?
sensibilities.
He is an orphan. I am an orphan.
To take responsibility for him?
I understand this means a great deal to you, but you must be prepared. He's very angry too, but his anger is deep inside him. When he touches it, it will strike out in many directions, including yours. Talk to him, but don't rush this.
I think she's right. Worf's such a good guy. If it's what I think it is, like he's trying to step up and like adopt him or something.
Oh no, we've been hit, Captain. We're going down. Ah!
That was great. Now, let's get a shot of Mom.
What are you doing?
Poor guy.
Turn your lens into pottery shards. Over there.
Now, what will this kid make of Worf?
Jeremy Astor, I'm Lieutenant Worf. May I enter? I was with Lieutenant Astor, your mother, when she died.
Is he angry at him?
What did they teach you about us?
You used to be our enemies.
Did they also teach you that every Klingon hopes to die in the line of duty as your mother did?
He's got a very hard edge, though, even when he's nice.
I understand death. They teach us all about it.
Jeremy Astor, we may both understand it, but we must bring meaning to your mother's death.
Let him grieve however he needs to, though, man.
The one unusual element is Worf. He wishes to involve Jeremy in a Klingon ceremony called Rustai, the bonding. I don't think Jeremy's ready to accept Worf right now.
I break the unpleasant news, and there my responsibility ends, but you...
She picks up pieces.
But over the years, I've discovered it's in joy that the uniqueness of each individual is revealed. My role has its rewards.
Do you think my uniqueness is revealed in my joy? Yeah, you guys have seen me nerd out hard.
I'm sensing a presence on the planet. Very vague.
Life form.
I can't be sure. The emotions of the crew are particularly strong right now. It's difficult to filter them out.
I feel like something is always blocking her from being able to use her power.
Hi.
Hi. Troy stopped by a little while ago. She was wondering if you might be willing to talk to Jeremy Astor at some point.
That's hard, though, for Wes. He has to talk about his own dad. His feelings are probably pretty complicated.
We had each other, Wes. He doesn't have anyone to lean on right now. And he might be more comfortable talking to someone who's not that much older than he is.
Okay. I'll think about it.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that'll be hard for him. He doesn't really talk about his dad that much.
Sometimes I can't get his face out of my mind.
I can remember the way Dad looked when he hugged me goodbye. Captain Picard's eyes when he came to tell us.
That was nice. Very, very tight close-ups in season 3, I'm noticing.
Okay, Mom, we're ready. Jeremy, I'm getting closer. I'm gonna find you. Must be in here somewhere.
Is that his mom?
Jeremy!
Mom?
Is he hallucinating? Commercial break. Is this whatever entity they were talking about on the bridge? What the frig?
Is this possibly related to the energy fields on the planet?
There is a beam of highly charged particles emanating from the planet, sir, but I cannot pinpoint the location yet.
Captain, there's a presence on the Enterprise.
Yes, a presence. So he's not hallucinating it. Maybe it's our ghost.
But there was an explosion. You were hurt.
This poor kid.
I'm fine. You mustn't think any more about this. The important thing is, I'm never going to leave you again. I think somebody needs a hug.
Don't do it. I don't like this. I have a weird feeling about this.
We have to go now.
Where?
Where?
To the planet. That's where we're going to live now.
We're not gonna stay on the Enterprise anymore?
Don't go, kid.
We're going to live in a home.
Okay. Who is this entity? It's not his mom.
Jeremy, come here.
Lieutenant Worf,
Zapper.
it's all right.
Lieutenant Worf to Captain Picard. Lieutenant Astor is in her quarters.
With her kid.
Repeat, Worf.
Oh, these
Lieutenant
sounds.
Astor is here, in her quarters with the boy. Do not provoke him.
Or interfere in any way until I arrive. Cut out.
What the frig?
It's time to go.
Where are you taking
Don't
the
take
child?
him anywhere.
To the planet.
Come, Jeremy.
Worf, no, stun her. You don't have to kill her, just stun her.
Chief O'Brien, Jeremy and I are going down to the surface.
Who are you
Who are you?
really? Yes.
I'm Marla Astor.
Bullshit.
Jeremy, she appears to be your mother, but she is not.
Hey, wait! Stop! No! No, wait, stop!
Disappeared.
Mom! Mom? Wait a minute. Could you just let Jeremy? Let go of me!
That poor kid, he's gonna be like traumatized now. Even more so.
She was real.
Why would your real mother want you to go down to the planet? There's nothing there but dust and rocks.
What? This is where the video was, in Patches. The cat, which is such a cute name for a cat.
It's my house on Earth.
Oh God, who is
Exactly
this?
the way it was.
How did you do it?
Does it matter?
Yes.
It's his home. And it makes you happy, doesn't it?
But it's not real.
Isn't it?
I'm getting a chill. But this poor kid. He's just a kid. Of course he would want to stay here.
Can you determine for certain that the energy source from the planet is powering this creation?
The beam from the planet is clearly tapping into the ship's antimatter, Captain.
How do we cut the puppet strings?
Increasing the shield's harmonics to match our own antimatter containment fields will probably sever the beam.
Harmonics.
It's time for this to end.
He doesn't want it to,
Not
I'm sure.
real. I won't trick you or lie to you.
Yes, sir.
Now he's just gonna be mad that they took her.
The shield has severed the beam, sir. Captain, the energy field.
Left the planet? Oh, Frig! Oh, he's a beam of light.
Come, Jeremy. We will not let them separate us again. We're going home.
Don't go, kid. Don't go. Don't go. He must be so confused. I feel really bad for this kid. I mean, how do you fight a ball of light?
Energy Force has left Transporter Room 3. Security alert, all decks.
LaForge, the intruder may try to reinstate transporter power.
Yeah, it's gonna come right down there, isn't it?
But we won't let anyone harm you. Counselor, why don't you take the boy to my quarters?
No.
It's looking over everything, Commander. Going to school.
Going to school.
It is only a matter of time, Captain, before we can power the transporters ourselves.
We? For whom else do you speak?
Great question.
Two species once shared this world, one of energy and one of matter. The physical beings you call the Koinonians destroyed themselves in unending, bitter wars.
Is she the energy?
Go ahead, Captain.
Will you escort Ensign Crusher to the Astor quarters?
Yes, sir.
I can provide him an existence where he will feel no pain.
It is at the heart of our nature to feel pain.
That's true.
It is our duty to make him happy again.
Do you honestly believe he would be happy in this total fiction which you wish to create?
This delusion.
Jeremy must come to terms with his grief. He must not cover it or hide away from it. You see, we are mortal. Our time in this universe is finite. That is one of the truths that all humans must learn.
An important part, being human. All right, Wessels.
I just don't want to think about it anymore. All this has reminded me so much of that day.
The day I told you your father had been killed. As I recall, Wesley, you took it very well.
He was younger than him.
I was angry at you.
Why angry? Why were you angry at me, Wesley? Were you angry at me because I was the one who had told you your father was dead?
No.
Because he sent him?
Because you led the mission. You came home and my father didn't.
How long were you angry with the captain, Wes?
For a long time, but not anymore, sir. Not even a little.
Good. Well, this is an important conversation for them to have.
You must be very angry at Lieutenant Worf. He was in charge of your mother's mission, just as Captain Picard was in command when Wesley's father was killed.
Oh, poor baby.
Let me help you. The Marla Astor I knew and honored is not in this room, nor does she await you on the planet. She now only lives here and here.
I mean, I don't think this energy was nefarious. I think they were trying to do the right thing for the kid, but it's not the right thing.
Join me in the Roostai, the bonding. You will become part of my family now and for all time. We will be brothers.
Brothers! Oh. This poor kid seeing his dead mom walking around? Jeez. He's gonna join him and be brothers! Oh. Worf as a big brother? This is too cute. Thought maybe they would fist bump or something. Is he giving him a little tiny sash?
It honors the memory of our mothers. We have bonded, and our families are stronger.
He's proud. Okay, that was season 3, episode 5, and I like that one. I'm feeling a very mature vibe this season, much more mature, I think. I think mature is the right word. It's something like that in season 3, just in how we're dealing with certain things. In this episode, I felt like we're sort of walking back the idea that like nameless crew members can just get killed to show how high the stakes are, and it really doesn't mean anything or affect any of the crew that we know in any way. It made it a bit more like when someone on the Enterprise dies, it is a big deal. There's a family there with them. It wasn't just brushed aside as it has been in every other episode that I've watched so far, pretty much. You know, unless it's Yar dying, nobody cared. Maybe a little pause was taken, but certainly not a whole episode focused like this one was. Showing me the kid of a crew member that's killed, doing a whole episode with that, I think is a good call here at this point in the show. And makes me take the death of anybody on this show, whether I really know them or not, more seriously. I thought it was a good opportunity too for Worf to have some cool character development. This death really bothered him, as it should. We had some good moments with Picard and Wesley, which almost seems like they should have had that conversation maybe when they went on the road trip last season. I feel like it was a conversation that needed to happen between them. And Picard had some good moments too, just kind of, you know, saying nobody on the Enterprise is ever alone. I love that. You know, we had that little tiny scene of Riker and Data having a drink, talking about how the death of a friend affects you a little bit more than someone you don't know well. Shouldn't we have empathy for everybody's death? I mean, they're basically addressing the whole idea that we're talking about here. Just like when someone dies on this show, whether we know them well or not, it should bother us more than it maybe has been shown to bother us. So I thought there was a cool way to address those kind of ideas. I mean, even I've heard, you know, the red shirts, all the red shirts die and it's no big deal, and, you know, moving on, just throw a red shirt in there to die to show how formidable the enemy is. It's, you know, that's the only reason for it. So I'm curious to see going forward how the show deals with deaths of crew members that we don't really know well. I assume we're not going to take an episode to explore the character every single time one of the crew is killed, but I just thought it was cool to pause and show that it means a little more than it might seem to. I also find that the shots are a lot more dynamic, visually interesting, lots of tight close-ups, which I really like. You know, we had that cool shot of Troy and Worf like through some kind of fence or grating or something like that. It was just interesting shots that I am noticing because there weren't that many interesting shots in seasons 1 and 2. Not to say I didn't like seasons 1 and 2. I really did like seasons 1 and 2. So we're gonna check out episode 6 now, called Booby Trap. Let's get right into it. Here we go. Season 3, episode 6. Is this Geordi in the holodeck? On a date, baby?
Another Coco no-no?
No thanks, I think I've had enough already.
That looks delicious. I wonder if they ever get just crunk. I don't think she's into it. He is inching close.
Geordi.
She's not into it.
I just don't feel that way about you.
Brutal.
Yeah.
I feel like, does he get this a lot?
Knock it off.
Then he disappears. Oh, Guinan's off duty. No, Guinan's on duty, yes!
I beg your pardon, Wesley.
Geordi had that big date with Christy tonight. He spent days putting together the perfect program.
Aww.
Uh-oh.
Commander, Data to the bridge immediately. We're picking up a signal. Coordinates 211, mark 61.
It would seem to be an ancient interplanetary code.
An ancient interplanetary code? I'm cool.
Approaching source, Captain.
Put it on the bureau.
Oh.
A Vermilion battlecruiser.
A battle cruiser?
I'm afraid we're a little late. That call for help was probably initiated over 1,000 years ago.
Woof. All right.
Battle in which the Menthars and Promelians fought to their mutual extinction. Among the ruins, we have found a relic, a Promelian battlecruiser that has withstood the centuries.
Battle cruiser.
Lieutenant Worf and I were able to run a security sweep of the ship first.
No, Captain's prerogative. This one's mine. We have examined every conceivable risk.
The risks on a ship this old and fragile are inconceivable, Captain.
He's not worried, and Riker's really worried.
Have you never dreamed of climbing inside the bottle? Sir?
Yeah, what?
The ship in the bottle. Model airships. I used to build them when I was a child. My God, I bet I had a Promelian battle cruiser, too.
Yeah, he's just like a fan. He just wants to go check it out.
It is exactly as they left it, number one. In the bottle.
He's like excited.
Ship in the bottle. Oh, good Lord. Didn't anybody here build ships in bottles when they were boys?
I did, sir.
Okay, all right, attaboy, O'Brien.
Look at this.
He loves it.
It's a model of simplicity. Elegant, functional. They built this craft for generations. And it worked.
Aw, poor Geordie. He deserves a girl.
What is it that you want in a man? What's the first thing you look at? His mind, of course. No, his head.
Like the shape of his head?
I can realign a power transfer tunnel. Why can't I make anything work with a woman like Christy?
Doing fine with me.
You're different.
No, you're different.
But I'm not trying now.
Exactly. Just don't try. Just be yourself.
The main power return is acting a little weird.
Define weird.
Yeah, something
I'm getting
crazy's going on.
fluctuating waveguide readings.
Activating power pack, Captain.
Yeah, let's get a look at this bridge.
I believe this is an information storage device.
I am calling Sahar. I want it recorded for all time that I alone am responsible for the fate that befell us. I have failed as a captain and as the man responsible for all the souls aboard my ship.
Sounds like a good captain. Taking responsibility. I feel like Picard would say the same thing.
Thrilling. Absolutely thrilling. And I was right, number one. There were ghosts on board that old ship. One of them actually spoke to us.
The friendly one, I hope.
My own counterpart.
He did find that thrilling. It's just like a excited kid.
I'm sorry, Captain. It's just a rare pleasure to see this side of your personality.
I agree. A rare pleasure.
Readouts indicate we are being bombarded with a field of high-intensity radiation.
Shields up!
From where?
Captain, energy loss increasing to 5%.
Reverse course, full impulse power.
Oh, is it the ship?
Engines aren't responding, Captain.
The engines aren't responding.
Now.
Matter antimatter mixture ratio settings at optimum balance. Reaction sequence corresponding to specified norms.
We need more dilithium crystals. Shields up, red alert.
We
Let's do
better
it.
slow these engines down before we burn out the reaction chamber.
Is it possible? We fall into the same snare that killed them.
Could be.
1,000-year-old booby trap.
Yes. I gotta chill. 1,000-year-old booby trap.
Have you been able to identify the source of the radiation?
No, sir.
And no apparent explanation for the energy loss?
No, sir.
Is there anything in the history books data that could give us a clue?
Good question.
They were exceptionally innovative. In fact, they were the first to use the Cavis Techie elusive maneuver, as well as the passive lure stratagem, which is comparable to Napoleon's...
Any mention of a situation like this?
Yeah, with power.
No, sir.
Lowering the shields long enough to get the away team out.
Won't do much for our energy conservation.
It's your job, Commander LaForge. Determine some way to keep the Enterprise up
Make it
and
happen.
running. Data, you join Commander Riker on the away team.
Data and Riker. Let's do it.
Who is this L. Brahms?
Dr. Leah Brahms, engineer, graduate of the Daystrom Institute Theoretical Propulsion Group, Galaxy-class starship, junior member.
Who? Is this a log from a prior crew? All in the Enterprise?
Away team to Enterprise. Captain, we may have found something. There's a file of memory coils here.
They are identical to the coil we found earlier, Captain.
Play that coil.
Mr. Data, are they in working condition?
I believe so, sir. We can enhance them through the image processor in the ship's computer.
Good. Return at once.
Okay. Yeah, get your butts back here.
Computer, generate a cross-section image of the dilithium crystal chamber.
Dilithium crystals. Yes.
What about reorienting the crystal?
Yeah, I knew it was a problem with the dilithium crystal.
You and me, Leah, we got just 2 hours to figure this thing out.
He'll figure it out.
I need to get inside there.
Yeah.
I need to be able to turn that thing inside out.
Oh, yeah, I want to go in there.
A development stage prototype schematic at Utopia Planitia, drafting room 5 of the Mars station, stardate 40174.
Perfect. Recreated in holodeck 3. Stay with me, Doc.
Let's do it. I'm with you, Geordie. All right, we're recreating it in the holodeck. We're reorienting the dilithium crystal. I like it. This is like 300 years ago.
This is incredible. Did you design this?
The dilithium crystal chamber was designed at Outpost designated Saran T1. Some of the Federation's best engineering minds participated in its development.
Including her.
What's the inside story? Off the record.
Access denied. Personal logs are restricted.
Wow.
Great. Another woman who won't get personal with me on the holodeck.
Poor Geordie.
Could we alter the matter-antimatter paths?
Theoretically, yes. The system should be able to accept more reactants at a faster rate of injection.
Well, this is your baby. Show me which ones.
Is this her? Is she a beautiful woman? Oh, lovely. Commercial break. I mean, Geordi does need to fall in love with, like, a scientist.
Geordi, can you give us enough power to get us out of here?
Sorry, Commander, we haven't addressed that one yet. First priority was to maintain the shields. We'll get to work on it right away, sir.
Pass my congratulations to the rest of your team.
Thanks, Captain. We're all smiles down here.
Except for her.
We've been able to verify that these coils are the logs of the Bromelian captain.
Surely he must have logged the cause of the ship's death. What captain wouldn't?
All found in an open locker. I don't think he was too concerned with security.
452 through system L575.
Adjustments to dilithium crystal chamber complete.
Impact analysis computer.
Just doing work on the dilithium crystals.
Reactants per unit time remaining steady.
Yes.
All right.
All right.
She's not happy.
Computer.
Display emotions.
Starfleet personality profile analysis.
Did she ever debate at the intergalactic caucuses on Chaya 7?
Dr. Brahms attended Chaya 7 caucuses.
Never mind the dates.
Yeah, just put them in her body.
There would be a 9.37% margin of error in the interactive responses from the facsimile.
Fair enough.
I can live with that. Do it.
There we go.
Dr. Brahms?
Geordi, it's me, Leah. Don't start calling me Dr. Brahms or I'll call you Commander LaForge.
Right.
Is he gonna fall in love with her?
We cannot fight. The ship is being lashed with lethal radiation from the aceton assimilators and sealed in the ribbons surrounding.
Come on. Concealed in the what?
It would not be difficult to modify them to convert energy into radiation.
The Menthars hide them in floating debris.
And now we're supplying the devices with the energy to kill us.
Oh.
No, no, no.
Will you listen to me?
They're just arguing.
It's gonna go. And we're gonna go with it.
I am not used to having people question my judgment.
And I'm not used to dying. Okay, look.
You're a computer.
This is a working machine. It's got tens of thousands of light years on it.
With people inside.
True.
Damn right. Listen, we never be certain that the circuit paths are sealed.
Unless...
You know, I always wish that a chief engineer could be present when a ship is being built.
That's what's wrong with designers. We never get out in space.
You're there now.
Commander LaForge to the bridge.
On my way, Commander. Don't go away. I mean, computer save program.
Right.
Is there any indication of a weakness in a specific part of the field?
I recommend we fire directional phasers at those coordinates.
We won't be able to maintain energy reserves. We might even lose a few circuits in the new configuration.
How critical will the losses be?
They'll do it.
There is also the possibility that the phasers will supply the assimilators with what they need most, energy.
You know, I imagine a very similar discussion taking place in our neighbor ship over 1,000 years ago. Well, let's hope our decisions are more successful than theirs were.
Yeah, let's hope so.
Phasers locked on coordinates.
All right, fire, I guess.
Fire.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Radiation levels increasing.
Ah, crap.
Energy reserves reaching critical stage. Standard procedure requires termination of all simulation.
Oh,
Computer overrides
she's gotta
standard
go.
procedure.
Override authority restricted.
What? Computer?
Yeah, I mean, he's just messing around on the holodeck. I mean, it is to help, but they need to reserve their power, I guess.
How long do we have shields based on current calculations?
Under 2 hours.
If we resist, we die. If we don't resist, we die.
Perfect.
Miss LaForge, have we shut down all non-essential energy usage?
Yes, sir. In fact, I need to get some back. I'm running a program on holodeck 3.
For what purpose?
He's like, you're doing a what?
I've gone back to the beginning, to the earliest construction entries of the Enterprise. I've created a propulsion design model to assist me. I believe we're making progress.
Computer, reinstate holodeck 3 program.
Holodeck 3 program is reinstated.
He trusts Geordi. Make it count.
We know that for every move the Enterprise makes, there's a counter movement by the energy field. Use that to our advantage somehow.
Maybe. If we can just make quick continuing adjustments in the link-ups before the counterforce reacts, we might just be able to move this bucket.
Move this bucket.
If fusion reactor uplink to navigation processor.
All right, come on, let's go.
Then we have to adjust the vector processor and the drive coils. Ugh! This is impossible.
Focus, dude, focus.
God, what am I supposed to tell the captain?
Your best guess.
It's possible, and yet it's not possible. Everything we've done says we can't adjust that fast, but if we could, it might work.
I could do it.
They're gonna have to sacrifice her somehow.
Captain, this is a holographic simulation of one of the propulsion experts who designed the Enterprise engines, Leah Brahms.
You mean to tell me you've been down here with a dame?
There's a chance we could maneuver out of this trap if we turn the ship over to the computer.
What kind of a chance?
I don't know yet. We could program it and try it out on a few simulated runs.
And this is the only way.
Do we have time for that? We're not very confident in this plan, though.
He proposes to turn total control of the ship over to the computer.
Computers have always impressed me with their ability to take orders. I'm not nearly as convinced of their ability to creatively give them.
Fair, but they really don't have a choice.
End simulation. Fatal exposure.
Fatal exposure.
Computer, reduce thrust levels another 4%. Adjust trajectory angle to compensate. Begin simulation again.
Successful.
End simulation. Fatal
Fatal.
exposure.
See? Same variables, only this time the computer didn't quite make it.
It's just random chance.
Deflector shield failure. Lethal radiation levels. Fatal exposure in 26 minutes.
Oh, perfect.
Everything we've tried to do has been based on overpowering the trap. That's the booby trap. The answer lies in our own computer. The mind, the best piece of engineering we'll ever need.
But didn't your researchers indicate 1,000 adjustments per second will be required?
But not if we shut everything off.
Just float through silently?
Got left for a microsecond to beat the inertia, and then we shut it all down, except for minimal life support and 2 thrusters. No impulse engines, no computer.
One propeller,
Really?
Deflector shield failure. Fatal exposure in 12 minutes.
Well, seems risky either way, but...
Make it so.
I've run the simulations, Captain. If you want, I'll take the con.
Thank you, Mr. LaForge, but you've done your job. Now I must do mine. I relieve you, Mr. Crusher.
Wow.
Inertia dampeners are on manual. They may not fully compensate for the acceleration, so brace yourselves.
Brace yourselves,
Deflector shield
peeps.
failure. Lethal radiation level.
Computer,
Fatal exposure in
discontinue radiation warning until further notice.
Shut it. All right. Picard and Data just flying the ship.
Thruster is off.
Captain, that large mass to the port may contain an assimilator.
Port thruster is firing. The asteroid's gravitation is drawing us closer. Velocity is increasing. Starboard aft thruster.
Oh, they just pivoted around it. Picard is
Yes,
good.
sir.
Initiate full restart. Put all systems back online.
With pleasure, sir.
Number 1, make sure that booby trap doesn't bother anyone again.
Yeah, blow that up.
Ready photon torpedoes. Set to detonate on impact with a Promelian vessel.
Aye, sir.
Agreed. Fire. Ooh, nice.
Always thought that technology could solve almost any problem. Lets us travel across the galaxy. Even gave me my vision. But sometimes you just have to turn it all off. Even the gypsy violins.
Violins?
Wasn't a pirate.
We made a good team.
Maybe we can do it again sometime.
Meet you on the holodeck.
I'm with you every day, Geordi. Every time you look at this engine, you're looking at me. Every time you touch it, it's me.
Are they gonna kiss? Space kiss.
Computer. Exit holodeck. In program.
Well, he got a little sugar there for a moment. Okay guys, that was season 3, episode 6, and that one felt like nostalgic or something. Maybe nostalgic's not quite the right word, but something like that. Like we had Picard talking about building ships in bottles when he was a kid and geeking out over going to the other ship and checking it out and being kind of childlike and looking to the past. And then the other plotline we had Geordi looking at like the original construction of the Enterprise, looking backwards at it, trying to figure out how to fix a current problem. I just feel like the episode itself was kind of looking backwards. It was interesting. It was heavy on the technobabble, which is fine. And we did have the subplot, I guess, of Geordi being kind of lonely or, you know, wanting a girlfriend, wanting to be able to talk to women. He was talking to Guinan, and she even said, I like bald men because one was nice to me one time. Like, she was even kind of looking in the past, and I wonder if she meant Picard. I don't know how they know each other, really. I would like to know more about that, so I'm hoping that comes up in the future. My first thought was, does she mean Picard? So I'll be interested to see that. But yeah, this episode just sort of, it felt like it sort of pivoted and looked backwards. We were dealing with this ship that was 1,000 years old. It was a 1,000-year-old booby trap set. It felt like it just, everything and everybody in it was pivoting and looking backwards. So I don't know what that means, like in the grand scheme of things, or if it means anything, but that's sort of what I took from it. It was nice to see Geordi get some time, and we had a little time in the holodeck, which is always interesting. I feel like there is a lot more that we're gonna see. I would think so anyway, because I'm starting to have questions about like ethics and stuff in terms of the holodeck. If you can create anybody in there, have a relationship with them, I don't know, there's something there that, like, there's sort of an ethics line there. Could I go onto the holodeck, like in the context of this show, could I go onto the holodeck and just create another Picard and have a conversation with him and make out, and is that fine? Does that have any, I don't want to say effect on the real Picard that is alive at the same time, but is it kind of a violation a little bit? I don't know. I'm just starting to sort of think about that. I was only really thinking about if someone goes onto the holodeck and falls in love with someone in there, how that would affect the real person when they come out and hologram person is no longer there, and I was sort of thinking of it from that way. But this episode made me kind of think about, like, I wonder what the real woman would feel knowing that she's been recreated and now kissing a man she doesn't actually know. It's not really her. I mean, obviously it doesn't really affect her, but it just sort of feels a little bit like a violation or something. I'm not quite sure. It's just making me have a few more questions about what you do in the holodeck, specifically if you're creating a person that actually exists or actually did exist. And it leads to all kinds of questions, like you could have a whole life in the holodeck. You could totally fall in love and end up wanting to spend all of your time in the holodeck. Maybe I'm giving this too much thought, and they've really ironed out all of their feelings about the holodeck and what's real and what's not by this time in the future. I do wonder if we'll ever kind of talk about any of these things, or if it's just more of a vehicle for fun episodes. I wonder. I'm very interested to see. So I enjoyed these 2 episodes. I'm looking forward to watching 2 more again next week. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I had a great time. I hope you had a great time too, and I will see you next time. Bye guys.